שלום לכל ישראלים בהרבות כנפות של הארץ. גם זקן אסף בנמי קריספין לוי מיישוב ישראלית פרירה ברטו, São Paulo, Brasil. אני הייתי רוצה לקרוא התורה ובעולם איתך בבזרקה. Here the elder Assaf Benami, Crispin, Levi. We're going to study the Torah. We're going to continue with the study of Torah. We stopped at item 775 because I talked about the feast, the Hamoedim of Yahweh. I spoke about Yom Teruah, Yom Kippur, and the Sukkot. And today at the sunset, we're finishing the 7 days that we lived in the booths, in the sukkah, and afterwards we're going to dismantle the booths. And tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. you're going to celebrate the Hag, and tomorrow, and we're going to make the Atzeret, the finishing of the feast. Well, let's study the Torah at the item number 76. A woman must bring a sacrifice after childbirth. Vaikra, Leviticus, chapter 12. Chapter 12. Verse 6 to 8. A woman must bring a sacrifice after childbirth. Okay, let's read them. And when the days of her cleansing are completed for a son or for a daughter, she brings to the priest a lamb, a year old, as a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove as a sin offering to the door of the tent of meeting. And he shall bring it before Yahweh and make atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the flow of her blood. This is the Torah for her who has given birth to a male or a female. And if she is not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, one as a burnt offering and the other as a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Well, we can see here that one woman, when she has a child, if it is a baby or a male, and she gets separated from 40 days, and if she is a female, and it is a female, she gets separated for 80 days. It's the Torah of the Yahweh. And she must go to the Kohen, to the priest, and to give an offering, okay, like it said in the Torah. When the days of her cleansing are completed for a son or for a daughter, or it be 40 days for a son, or 8 days for a female. She brings to the priest a lamb, a year old, as a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove as a sin offering to the door of the tent of meeting. The process is the same. When we speak about the sacrifice, the people brought the sacrifice to the door of meeting, the tent of meeting, at the door, at the first mizbeah, the altar, and killed the sacrifice, and the Kohanim, the priests, broke the dam until the altar, and the sprinkled the dam all over the altar. And this process is described in the Torah. And he shall bring it before Yahweh and make atonement for her, the Kohen. And she shall be cleansed from the flower of her blood. This is the Torah for her who has given birth to a male or a female. And if she is not able to bring a lamb, for example, and the sacrifice were divided by classes. If one person is rich, a woman was rich, she brings a lamb, a year old. And if she is not able to bring a lamb, or she is poor, then she shall bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. And like in the case of Yahushua HaMashiach, one as a burnt offering and the other as a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Well, let's see this item number 76 in the Torah law, oral law. Bereshit, or Genesis, Bereshit, or Genesis 21, 1 to 8. And Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahweh did for Sarah as he had spoken. So Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the appointed time of which Elohim had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore to him, Yitzchak. And Abraham circumcised his son Yitzchak when he was 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Yitzchak was born to him. And Sarah said, Elohim has made me laugh, and everyone who hears of it laugh with me. And she said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast on the day that Yitzchak was weaned. Then, on the 8th day, this man was taken to the Kohen. In the time of Abraham, the Kohen was Melech Tzedek. And Abraham kept the Torah, the precepts of Yahweh, and the Hokim Mishpatim. Well, let's see this item number 76 in the time of Yahushua HaMashiach and his disciples. Luca chapter 2, verse 21, 24. Luke. Luke chapter 2, verse 21 to 24. Luke 2. Luke chapter 2, verse 21 to 24. And when 8 days were completed for him to be circumcised, his name was called Yahushua, the name given by the messenger before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days of her cleansing, according to the Torah of Moshe, were completed, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to Yahweh. As it has been written in the Torah of Yahweh, every male who opens the womb shall be called set apart to Yahweh, and to give an offering according to what is said in the Torah of Yahweh, a pair of 30 doves or 2 young pigeons. Well, we can see here that Yahushua's parents, made according to the Torah, okay, because when was a child, a man, during the 8 days, okay, 8 days, the parents, or the mother that was impure, he was to the temple, okay. She accompanied her husband to the presentation, to the circumcision of the child. And then he stayed more 30 days in her separation. Okay, in her separation. And according to the Torah, the offering was a pair of 30 doves or 2 young pigeons, like we saw in the Torah. Well, let's see the other item number 77. A leper must bring a sacrifice after he has been cleansed. Vaikra, chapter 4, verse 132. It's a long verse, but let's read it. 75. A leper must bring a sacrifice after he had been cleansed. Vaikra 14. Vaikra 14. Vaikra 14, 1 to 32. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, This shall be the Torah of the leper. For the day of his cleansing, he shall be brought to the priest. And the priest shall go out of the camp, and the priest shall look and see if the leprosy is healed in the leper. And then the priest shall command, and he shall take for him who is to be cleansed 2 live and clean birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest shall command, and he shall kill one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. Let him take the live bird, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and dip them and the live bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water, and he shall sprinkle it 7 times on him who is to be cleansed from the leprosy, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the live bird loose in the open field. And he who is to be cleansed shall wash his garments, and shall shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, and shall be clean. Then after that he comes into the camp, but shall stay outside his tent 7 days. And on the 7th day it shall be that he shaves all the hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, even all his hair he shaves off. And he shall wash his garments, and wash his body in water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he takes 2 male lambs, perfect ones, and 1 ewe, lamb a year old, a perfect one, and 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, and 1 log of oil. And the priest who is cleansing shall present the man who is to be cleansed with these offerings before Yahweh at the door of the tent of meeting. And the priest shall take 1 male lamb, and bring it as a guilt offering, and the log of oil, and wave them as a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall slaughter the lamb in the place where he slaughtered the sin offering and the burnt offering, in a set aparted place. For the guilt offering, like the sin offering, belongs to the priest, it is most set apart. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the guilt offering, and the priest shall put it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. And the priest shall take some of the log of oil, and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is his left hand, and shall sprinkle some of the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahweh. And of the rest of the oil in his hand, the priest put some of the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot, on the blood of the guilt offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he puts on the head of him who is to be cleansed, and the priest shall make atonement for him before Yahweh. And the priest shall make the sin offering, and make atonement for him who is to be cleansed from his uncleanness. Then afterwards he slaughters the burnt offering. And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the grain offering on the altar, and the priest shall make atonement for him, and he shall be clean. But if he is poor and is unable to afford it, then he shall take 1 male lamb as a guilt offering to be waved to make atonement for him, and 1/10 of 1 ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, and a log of oil. And 2 30 doves or 2 young pigeons, such as he is able to afford, and 1 shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. And he shall bring them to the priest on the 8th day for his cleansing, to the door of the tent of meeting before Yahweh. I want to stop here, and in the next week, I'm going to read until the number 32, okay? Because this item 77 is Vaikra 14, from chapter 14, verse 1 to 34. And next week, on Thursday, I will explain it to you. Thank you very much. Yahweh bless you and your family. Yahweh Baruch Atah V'Ramishpahaga. Shalom lehitraot. Shalom lekulam.